everybody. Welcome back live at Drew's house, another edition. Hope everybody is doing well. Starting to move into spring. Isn't that exciting? One of my favorite times of year. I like the change of the seasons. There you go. But enough about me. Big show today. We got, I'm going to have one return guest, Charley Carrozo. You know that face. Hey, Charley, how are you?
I'm doing great, Drew. How are you doing?
Doing good. I should probably put your microphone on. See, that's why Sarah Blackstone's the best producer in the world. I should put your microphone on first. How are you, Charley?
Check. Oh, I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Doing good, Charley. All right, and Liz Frame, who I have not met before. Liz, how are you? Thanks for coming into the studio.
I'm so good to be here. So glad to be here. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So here we go. Tonight, we're talking today about a musical benefit for Ukraine, which is a really cool thing you guys are putting together. Obviously, we got this war going on. It feels like a world away, but it's so much terrible stuff that you just you watch on the news, and it's well, what made you start this? First of all, Liz, we'll start with you.
Well, I've done benefits like this in the past for worthy causes, so I'm not a stranger to this. But this this particular benefit feels extremely important in a way that none of the others have, for obvious reasons. We're dealing with a war, and we're dealing with millions of people who are displaced, thousands of people who have died, and it just feels like you said, a world away, yet not. It's very close at hand, much closer than we'd like to think.
Yeah, and it feels just so, I mean, you're hearing so many of these personal stories. We're watching it through an internet age with social media, and we're kind of connected in ways that, we hadn't been in the past wars. And it's just, it seems so, you almost can't believe some of it.
Well, I'm old enough to remember the Vietnam War and how we could see that on our nightly newscast, right? Yeah. And it's been a long time since we've been able to see a war unfold in real time. And then actually, we've never been able to, even with the Vietnam War, that was never in real time.
Yeah.
So it's really upsetting, and I think many people like me feel hopeless and helpless and want to do something, in response. So this benefit is that.
I am noticing a lot of, I'm getting that vibe from a lot of different communities of just people wanting to help in any way they can, putting the tools that they know, in your case, music, to try to help the cause. And I think that's a good thing, if nothing else, right?
Right. Well, it makes you feel useful, and it also is fun.
Yes, yeah. It is. Do music for the right causes is a good thing.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Charley, and here you come along into this little mix here. How are you, sir?
Yeah, I'm doing great. Liz asked me to be a part of it, and of course, we said yes, and I'm really glad to be a part of it. And it's interesting. You said, the sort of feeling helpless is I think a feeling that a lot of people are feeling. It's like, well, what can I do? What can anybody do? And this is at least something. And the name of the charity that
World Central Kitchen. It's a global kitchen that responds to times of crises like this, where they go out there and they feed people. And apparently there are millions of people in Ukraine right now who are struggling for food.
Yeah.
And so it's a very worthy cause. I'm hoping to raise $10,000 during the course of the evening, and I think we'll be able to do it. So.
And the evening is the 6th, correct? April.
It's April 9th.
April 9th. I'm sorry, April 9th.
Saturday.
I flip my 6s and 9s sometimes. But April 9th.
Please, not the 6th. We're not ready. Saturday, April 9th at the Belleville Congregational Church, 300 High Street, right here in Newburyport. Thank you to the church. I've reached out to them multiple times. Every time I do a benefit, they're almost always the entity that's involved. So they're awesome. What's the
night consist of?
Well, there's going to be 4 performances. The night's going to start off with a singer-songwriter named James Paone. He's super talented, very sweet man.
He's been on this show, as a matter of fact.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah, he's a great guy. And then he'll be followed by my good friend Marjorie Senet and the Broken Home Boys. She is a very talented singer-songwriter. Also, she works in the sort of honky-tonk country vein. And then my band will be following her, Liz Frame and the Kickers. And then Charley's awesome band, Way Up South, comes on after that. So you've got four performances.
Okay. You bring the whole band out, Charley.
Yeah, and that's, those guys are great about things like this. I mean, I usually call on them to do,
My band too.
At least once a year, you know, we sort of we do something, and you know, it's always for a worthy cause. But I don't think we've been involved in something, you know, so important and sort of a devastating cause that this is. You know, I was reading something on the charity's website specifically about Ukraine, and they were talking about not only, you know, is the problem local to Ukraine, and they're feeding people on the ground and trying to do that, and that's what, you know, hopefully a lot of this money is going to go towards. But the longer that this war drags on, the food instability it can cause for the whole region, and really spread
Poland,
out.
all the countries that are taking these refugees in, and you know, I mean, it's devastating.
It is. It's heartbreaking to watch.
Right.
I once had an artist on here, and some of my favorite artists have talked about, for whatever reason the name is popping in my head right now, Chad Stokes, who I remember asking about the charity, and he's always involved with charities and does something every year. And he said, I don't know, for me, just in my kind of music, it wouldn't feel kind of empty if I didn't put some of my music towards its good causes. And I get the impression both of you kind of fall into that umbrella as well.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not speaking for Charlie, but I'm sure he feels the same way. You know, any time an artist can create good at the same time is a really good marriage, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, musicians in particular can be very egocentric animals.
No.
Yeah. You know, I mean, it always has to be about them. The spotlight has to be on them. It's always, you know, it's always their thing, their show. So when you can take the spotlight away from yourself a little bit and get real, it's a good thing. Get
real, I like that. And bands are tough anyway, but I mean, it's cool that both of your bands are there. I mean, it's not always the easiest call, right? Usually it's, you know, getting everybody together on this night, and it's going to be this, and it's different, and it's not the usual gig, and, you know, it's
well,
great.
my band's too afraid to say no.
Is that right? You've put the fear.
Yeah, you have two band leaders here today, you know, but
they're too afraid.
No,
that's not true.
My guys were right on it. They all immediately said yes, which was great, and you know, and I'm glad to be a part of it, and you know, thank you for helping us promote it a little bit. You know, Liz has gotten a bunch of people to sort of, I think you got an article in the paper, right?
Yeah, the Daily News is going to run something.
Oh,
the
excellent.
River radio station has been, you know, sharing the information on air, so
Awesome.
which is great. And of course, you've been doing this now, which is awesome. So
awesome. Well, it's a great thing you guys are doing. And can people donate before the night itself, or is it pretty much going to be raised that night?
People are asking me that. I wish I were more together. I think we're going to.
Hey, it's good if people are asking you that.
Yes,
though. People want to
I
donate.
know.
Yeah.
I'm virtually certain we'll have some way people can donate online if they can't attend the actual performance the night of, and we'll take. The night of the performance, we'll take checks, cash. We'll be set up for Venmo, all that kind of stuff. So, I don't have anything set up just yet for online donations, but there will be something.
These things are not easy to put together.
I
know they're not.
I know, especially short notice, right?
Yeah.
It's like, you know, I've had basically 3 weeks to organize this.
And there's always like, I don't know if you've had this, I'm sure you have, and you don't have to elaborate on it, but there's always like some domino, something falls out of place, and you got to replace it, and then, you know, it's always something.
And prior to this particular benefit, I was basically working for myself, so I had a little more free time, but now I have like a real job, you know, 40-hour a week real job, so on top of everything else, I have to meet those responsibilities, so it is kind of tough juggling sometimes.
Yeah, well, that's why you laughed, I think, when I said April 6th to start.
Yeah,
you need every day.
Every
April 9th.
Yeah,
it is
please.
April 9th, and it will not be a minute before. That's fantastic. Again, we're joined here by Liz Frame and Charley Carrozo joining us on the show. A musical benefit for Ukraine, Saturday, April 9th, 7 p.m., Newburyport. It's going to be a great event, and try to get there if you can, and if not, donate on that day. Charley, I hear you're having nightmares and waking up and writing music. That's writing songs. Is that correct?
Yeah. Well,
my source is correct.
So we've both have had a little cold this last week, and you know, I think it might be a NyQuil induced dream that, you know. But yeah, I wake up at 4 a.m. when that's not. I'll play that one later for you. I'm not going to play that one first, but I'll play that one later for you. But yeah, I woke up at 4 a.m. and you know, we had a little back and forth online about songwriting, and you know, sometimes you struggle with it, and sometimes it seems to fall out of the sky, and this was one of those. I woke up at 4 a.m. I wrote 5 stanzas down, and I haven't changed a word of it, and
Wow.
it almost never happens that way.
Yeah.
But when it does, it's so strange, and you feel like you have very little to do with it. You know, it just it really does feel like it came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And 9 times out of 10, those are the best songs. I don't know if you find that, but
Yep, I do.
That is
I wish
cool.
that happened more often.
Yeah, that is a cool thing. I think the last time, Charlie, you were on, if I remember correctly, you were at a Christmas show. If you remember, that was kind of an
sure.
That was kind of
You say so.
We had a fun we had a fun Christmas. I threw it, Liz. I don't know if you've seen that show, but it's probably worth going back if you
I'm
haven't,
gonna have
because
to look this
because
one
we
up
had
now.
we had a very fun moment at the very end where I said, all right, we'll end with a good Christmas song, and Charlie burst out in laughter, and he goes, well, we're gonna go with this one.
Oh yeah, that's right. Well, Merry Christmas to the Family by Robert O'Keefe.
Oh, yeah, that's a great
That's
one.
my
There you go.
favorite one.
I got a lot of comments on that because I posted that on social media, and I my mother asked me about it. She goes, what is that song?
That's a very well-known song.
I know. She didn't know. I did know. But
The best version is a live version, and you hear all his, he does down in Texas where all his fans are, and you know, it just people hooting
Right.
and hollering, yelling every word of the song.
Right.
It's great.
So that was Christmas. It feels, I don't know if it feels like this to you guys. Pandemic, I think, and all that plays a role, but time is just so, I'm so confused by time now. That feels like yesterday. It also feels like forever ago. I don't know how to keep up with it or slow down, or I don't know.
I know, especially when you've got your Facebook memories popping up from like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
One just popped up on my Facebook page from March of 2020, where I was talking about how I couldn't wait to spend 3 months in Germany. I was going to live 3 months in Germany
Yeah.
and then go off to Spain and work from Spain and Germany. Of course, this was right before COVID, and I haven't left Newburyport.
Man, well, yeah, that's how it goes.
Practically.
Not the best time to come up with a
No,
Germany travel
right,
plan,
right.
but of course you have to laugh about it a little bit. But so much going on in the world, of course, and you guys are right in the pulse with that. Again, a musical benefit for Ukraine is the 9th of April. You'll get to see these two great performers. Charlie, you were going to play one to get us out of the gates here?
This one is about sort of trying to bring a little light into the darkness, and it's the name of the song is called Blinded Times.
All right, Charlie Carrozo on Joppa Afternoon Drive. Take it away.
Got no use for sugarcoats, I got no use for lies. I can't see the cracks are forming. You tell me there ain't no use in trying. Ain't no use in trying. Can't make the time change faster, but I'd sure like to change your mind. I can see your fists are clenched so tight. I can see your eyes are cold, looking for someone to blame. So you buy what's being sold by a man who ain't got no heart. He just trolling for your soul. But his chest is full of dust and ashes. Yours is full of gold. Let it shine, let it shine. If you lose your love, you borrow some of mine. Let it shine, let it shine. Gotta help each other see through these blinded times. Blinded times. I can see your guns are blazing, I can see your plans are made. Playing soldier in the woods, cause you couldn't make the grade. Goddamn, they're gonna hear you now. Gonna make them feel your pain. So you're driving to Wisconsin, and the blood's gonna flow like rain. Let it shine, let it shine. If you lose your heart, you can lose your mind. Let it shine, let it shine. Gotta help each other see through these blinded times.
done.
Awesome.
Charley Carrozo, nicely done.
Thank you.
Very nice.
Sounding great.
Don't you love his voice?
I do. He knows that, though. He's the best. Sounding great. You went right for it. No warming up. God.
Well, I warmed up this morning. I knew it was
Okay.
going to be. It's last time I came in here, it was about the same time, and I realized it's not my normal time when I start singing. So
Yes, the sun is out. Not usually the. That is funny. Well, you sounded great, man. Let's see. There's some big notes there. They sound great, as always. And
Those
Liz.
new guitar strings.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, I heard you guys talking about that before the show. New guitar strings.
Yeah, I'm trying some fancy strings.
Fancy strings.
You know, coming up in the world, Drew.
Oh, well, they worked out for you there. Liz is going to play one for you, too. Oh, and while I see Sarah Blackstone here helping us out, it is birthday week for Sarah Blackstone, so
Happy birthday!
we have to give her the extra kudos. And she's been very good with me, not only producing the show, which she does a great job with currently. Oh, yeah, turn it up, sure. See, she's helping right now. Not only producing the show, but also juggling my crazy schedule just there. So she says my voice is always too loud. That's fun. I mean, there we go. But she
Hey,
does.
it's your radio show.
I know, well, yeah. I know, well, trust me. If it was all me, we would have serious issues. Sarah makes me sound good here. But not only just the producing of the show, which she does a great job and has brought her own little flavor to it, but also the juggling schedules. And believe it or not, my schedule is kind of all over the place sometimes. So. There's the laughter from outside the room. I can hear it. All right. Liz is going to play one for us in a second. What about final? I don't want to make sure all the information's out there. I want to make sure we get everything out there for the benefit. What do people need to know that they might not know?
Okay, doors open at 6.
Okay.
There are no pre-sales of tickets. There are tickets available at the door only.
Okay.
So, again, in the interest of simplicity.
Okay.
Doors open at 6. Show starts at 7. The venue is the Belleville Congregational Church, 300 High Street in Newburyport. There will be light refreshments, and show starts at 7.
Okay.
And that's that.
No tailgating in the church, I imagine.
No tailgating. Where some people have expressed a little bit of concern about masks and.
Oh yeah.
You can wear a mask if you want. We're not making anybody prove they've been vaccinated or show up with a mask.
It's kind of where we're at now in life, right?
Kinda, yeah.
I think.
Yeah, kinda. So.
It's funny though. It's different. Just there's no. We haven't been through this before, so you can understand why communities are struggling with it. But you go to one town and it's a whole different deal. And I didn't know I needed the vax card.
Right.
I am vaccinated. I just don't have the proof. Sorry, there, Steve.
I mean, I have my card in my wallet, so I always have it on me, and I usually have a mask in my pocket somewhere. So.
Always good to take a picture of the vaccine card. I don't know if you guys ran into that.
Yes.
Good to have that on the phone.
Yes.
That saved me a couple times.
Saved me too.
It's a big thing. All right, Liz, what are we going to play here?
Well, we're not going to play anything as meaningful as what Charley just played.
That was a very nice song, Charley.
We're going to get a little more bass.
Okay.
Well, you're looking like you got a little something on your mind. Like a kid in a candy store fingering a shiny dime. Now you're moving in close to me, but it's a waste of time. You better stay away from me, lover. Better stay away from me, lover. Better go run for cover. You better go looking for another. Better stay away from me, lover, 'cause I'm gonna wreck your mind.
Liz Frame on Joppa Afternoon Drive. What a treat that was.
Thank
Fantastic.
you so much.
I was ready to start clapping, dancing, all that stuff.
Well, that's
there.
what we want everybody to do.
There you go.
The 9th of April, not the 6th. The 9th.
Yes, we won't even put it in my head. Flipping those 9s and
You
6s.
show up on the 6th and nobody's going to be there. You'll be dancing by yourself.
Yes, which I do that too sometimes. But yeah, April 9th. Very good. So it's kind of a weird thing. It's obviously not it's a dark fundraiser. It's a weird thing. It's a dark story, but it's there to have a fun night and bring joy, and those are always kind of two different things.
I mean, I thought about that. The event, is there for a very somber reason. But we're hoping that people will kind of rejoice in a community coming together to help our brothers and sisters.
It's funny. I was reading something about Ukrainians, and part of the reason why Zelensky was elected, being a former comedian, was that the Ukrainian people are generally a very fun people.
Mirth.
Yeah,
right.
And I know some Ukrainians, and I was actually thinking to myself, that actually fits. I don't
know, Yeah, it does, doesn't it? I mean, he's an unbelievable man. Not to get on too much of a tangent, but he's really something.
It's an amazing story, and just again the whole social media thing. He's communicating with the world on a daily basis. I mean, it's fascinating to watch, even though it's so horrifying.
Horrific.
Over there.
Yeah, I know.
And hopefully there was some news this week about how
they're pulling back.
Yeah, the peace talks made a little. They're pulling back a little, and there was some maybe a little bit of compromise found in a situation that has so far been very uncompromising. So. Anyway, that's where we're at. Liz, you sound great.
Thank you so much.
It's been fun
Fantastic.
To meet you.
I love that song. That song stuck in my head the first time I heard it. I love that song.
Thanks.
It's great.
I met Liz a while ago, and
what's your story? You got a backstory?
Our good friend Henry Welsh, who is a Newburyport guy who just recently passed away.
Yeah.
And they're doing a celebration of life for him the day after. And I was sitting at the bar over at the Grog, and I was with Henry, and I said, "Is that Liz Frame over there?" And I was a little starstruck because I loved her songs, and I still do. And I was a little starstruck. And Henry's like, "Yeah, go, I'll introduce you." I was like, "No, you can't do that. I'm not ready." And he's like, "What are you talking about? She's sitting right there." Like, Henry knows everybody and knew everybody, and was just the almost like the mayor of the music scene around here. And he's like, he brought me right over, and that's the first time we met. And I think that's the first thing I said to you, and I think I was referencing that song.
Really?
When I said it. Yeah, that's
well, I remember the first time I saw his band, which was not that long ago, actually, at a private birthday party. And I was blown away. And I don't normally get blown away. I have to say, I'm a kind of a hard ass when it comes to what blows me away. I can be kind of a hard critic. Yeah. And I was just blown away by your band.
Well,
I really
we have a ringer of a guitar player. That's why.
No, it's much more than that. Let me tell your audience that if you guys have not seen Way Up South, you are in for a serious treat.
Thank you.
Yes, and I've told you this before too. You're one of those people that the first time I heard you and I was blown away. It was just you. I think I was catching you before one of your solo gigs. And you're one of those rare men who can, man or woman, rare performers who can go up there and command a stage.
Yeah, right. I know, and that's not easy to do.
It's not easy.
No.
So anyway, enough Charley love for the day. I know he's uncomfortable.
What about me? What about me?
It's back to Liz. That's that was fantastic. What's the? Are you still writing a lot of music? Or?
I haven't written a whole lot the last couple of years. Surprisingly, I'm kind of surprised by that because prior to COVID, I was pretty prolific. But COVID did something. I don't know, and I just sort of. I don't know.
It is. I'm getting both of that. It's weird.
Me too.
Like the artist that I had last show was kind of started her career, professional career in COVID, and said, "I'm just going to go for it."
Right.
I've decided this.
Right. It was her impetus. It's like, you know what? Life is short. I'm doing this.
Yep.
Right.
And I think left what'd she say, an engineering job, and and just did it, yoga studios, and went for.
What little I heard sounded great.
Yeah.
Because I came in earlier and I was hearing her. She sounded really good.
She was. But then there's other people who just I don't know. They didn't feel like writing music.
Well, I've been doing it a really long time too.
Yeah.
That's the other thing, and I think I'm a tiny bit burnt out, just a little bit.
So that happens.
So.
Yeah. Well, you did put out a killer album though.
Thank you.
In the last year.
Thank you.
So you should mention that because I don't know when those songs were written, but.
Yeah,
But the Fireflies album is.
Oh, thank you.
Super solid album, start to finish, and this maybe people are hearing this and they think it's put on just because I'm sitting next to Liz, but it's a great record. It's stuck in my kitchen CD player right now, and
that is so nice.
Hasn't been replaced by anything in about 3 months. So
Thank you.
How about
That's
that?
such high praise coming from him.
Yeah, it's a great one.
That is something. Yes. Did you know he was that
Well,
addicted to your music?
I actually asked him to say that.
You did. Yes.
She did not. She did not.
It's $20 every time.
I did. I actually wrote it down for him. I said, "Here, say this now."
That's right here.
It's not often I get two prolific band leaders in here at the same time.
Right.
This is where I've talked to you on a weird week where one of the biggest bands in the world has lost their drummer. Of course, Taylor Hawkins passing away. Maybe some of you have had losses in your own bands over the years. What's it like to have a piece of the band just suddenly go away for whatever reason?
Well, go ahead, Charlie. I'll let you answer that.
Well, I've been lucky enough not to lose anybody yet, but you can't even imagine. I mean, what it's like. That particular situation seems like, to me, they almost seem like the same person.
Right.
They look alike.
They do.
They're
I know.
both drummers.
Right.
They have this same energy about them. Yeah. That it's like it's almost inconceivable to think of him not being in that band.
I can't even imagine that. I've thought about that too. You lose somebody like that who's not only an integral part and is defining your sound as a group, but as a personal friend, like a very close. And what I read, they were really close. Like they were the brother from another mother kind of thing. And so you're suffering a loss on multiple levels, which is I can't imagine.
It's crazy. Of course, Taylor Hawkins, a fantastic drummer. I think all musicians respect that, even if you weren't into the music.
Mm-hmm.
But it could be. It would be interesting to see where the band goes. It could be the end of the band. You never know with these things.
I mean, like when Charlie Watts died.
Yeah.
I mean, there's another example of somebody who was instrumental in defining that sound and was I don't know.
Musicians lost in 10 years. We'll be able to look back and see musicians lost during the pandemic, but it's been a tough it's been a big toll.
Yeah. I was pissed when John Prine
Me too.
died.
Well, he was like the first one.
I know. Right. I was really pissed.
I was saying on the last show, there goes my pen. Every third show I drop a pen every time. But I was saying when somebody passes away, and I don't know if you guys do this, but I end up listening to their music for months, maybe years.
Right.
John was one of those guys. I'm still doing it. I'm still not out of the John.
Tom Petty too. I was that really depressed me.
That one, like my cousins were all like we had a tight Tom Petty bond. We used to go to a lot of Tom Petty shows. And I think we always had this vision in our head that we'd have kids, and then we'd be able to take them to Tom Petty shows.
Yeah, I saw his last show. I was so lucky. I got
last show.
Not the very last, but one of the very last. Yeah.
I wonder if we were at the same show because I was there at the Garden.
Yeah.
When he did that crawling back to you.
Yeah. We got tickets last minute.
So did I. We lived the same day.
Mine were free though. Were yours?
No, mine were not free. But I do remember the story though, because my family was, I think it was a Friday night if I remember. My family was encouraging me to come up to the lake in Maine. Going to be a great weekend. Turned on the traffic on the threes thing there, and traffic was horrible. I just didn't feel like taking a twice as long usual ride up to Maine. And I said, Tom Petty's in town. Texted my cousin who was also in Boston. I said, you want to do this? And he goes, yeah, let's do it. And that was it.
Wow.
Yeah.
It was such a great show.
It really was.
Oh my God. I enjoyed it so much. And the funny thing is I saw him in 1980 also. So I saw him during one of his very first performances and one of his very last
bookend, huh?
Yeah.
That's good. I have a great photo of him. I was side stage. I have a great photo of him just kind of waving, and I guess it was probably at the end. And I put it in black and white, and I just remember thinking it's one of the best photos I ever took at a concert.
I think he's one of the very, very best songwriters to ever come down the pike.
Genuine, right?
Yeah. I mean, I just adore his writing. I really do.
I only got a chance to see him once, but just my 2 cents in throwing this conversation is that I remember driving back from the show, and then my friends and I listing all the songs he didn't play.
Right.
Yeah.
And we're like, wait, there's like 10, 15, 20 number one hits that he didn't play.
I know. It's unbelievable how prolific he was.
And you know what I really liked about, because I had seen him a few times, and he was one of those guys that would kind of play a lot of same set lists. Like he didn't feel like he had to be, Fish or whatever, Grateful Dead, and play a different show every night. If you liked the set list, he would go with it sometimes. And so a couple times I'd said, oh, you know what, I wonder if he's still opening with that. And I remember that night in Boston, it was very different. And crawling back to you, I'd never heard that song played live before. It's one of my favorites now. And he goes, I love this song. I'm going to play it tonight. I don't always do it. And I was like, wow, what a night.
Yeah,
I was always happy I got that night. Very pleased I didn't drive up to Maine.
Right.
Liz, I know you actually have to get back to fundraising, whatever you want to do. Do you want to go before Charley plays?
I do.
The
I'm
song?
gonna sneak out of here very quickly.
I told Liz I'd make sure she sneaks out. So we can let Liz say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Thank you so much for
thank you so much.
doing
This
the
has
fundraiser.
been a whole lot of fun.
Final words, yeah, go for it.
I hope to see everybody out there. Like I said, I want to raise $10,000. So
let's get
$30 a ticket. That's 350 more or less people.
Walk right up. Don't worry about.
The house seats 500. First come, first serve. Tickets are sold at the door only. Doors open at 6. Show starts at 7.
Four acts.
Four acts. That's right.
$30, $10 an act, and you get
right.
What a deal.
$10 free.
That is a deal.
So you two lead your bands through a fun night, a musical benefit for Ukraine, April 9th, 7 p.m. Doors at 6. So there you go. Show up. You'll find a way in. Charlie's going to play us out as soon as Liz scoots on out. And we are back.
We are back.
Liz has another woman left us, Charlie.
That's it. It's the story of our lives.
All right. Very good. So this is a cool thing, though. I can tell. I know you let Liz do a lot of the nuts and bolts talking, but it's cool that you're being a part of it. I know you're excited about it.
Yeah. Well, it's her event. I mean, she's the one that organized it. She's made the calls. She got the venue. She's hooked up with the charity, and so she's running the show over there, and she's doing a great job. And it's shaping up to be a fun event. This is actually, it's so nice doing this with you, because this sort of gets me in the mood even more, and so now it feels like it's really got some momentum. So.
Yeah, it's coming quickly. Can you actually? I mean, I know I'll say this when Liz has gone now, because April is coming fast. Like, where is time going? I don't know.
Yeah, I can't wait. I love. There's something strange about the winter every year.
Yeah,
it's it goes fast until Christmas, and then it starts to slow down a little bit, and then March just crawls, because around here, it's not spring.
Sometimes winters are long, aren't they?
Yeah, it's not spring. But when April, I just can't wait for April. Can't wait for May.
You got the opening day.
Yeah.
Are you a baseball guy? I know you're a tennis guy.
I'm not a huge baseball guy. I'm a basketball guy. So it's
March Madness
comes playoff time and everything else. So But I have a little boat. So it goes in the water.
You're like a very proficient sailor, I think. Am I right? I've heard that through the grapevine.
I don't know about proficient, but I've been doing it. I've been doing it for a long time. Yeah, okay. And I haven't sank yet, so I guess I'm proficient enough.
That is the key. What's your best sailing story, real quickly?
So, we, I have a lot of them, but we went. A friend of mine, first time we took, the longest we've been out is over to Provincetown. And we went out early in the morning, and from Boston Harbor, and the wind was coming straight from Provincetown, and we started tacking back and forth, and we looked at our GPS, and it said we were going to be there in 12 hours, and that's if we were going the same speed we were going, but if we were going straight ahead. So it was going to take us a full day to get there, like 24 hours, if we were zigzagging the way we were. So we turned the motor on, and we motored into the wind, and we got there well after dark, and we couldn't see a thing, and I had never sailed at night before, and we were basically sailing hours in at night, and this was the first time. But then the stars came out, and the moon came up, and everything was lit, and at that moment we saw the red light of Provincetown Point, Race Point, blinking in the distance,
and you're like, thank God,
and knew that we were gonna make it. And it was like, so that was so every time you do something like that, you sort of expand what you feel like is possible, and that's my favorite thing about it.
Was there actual doubt, or was it just kind of like a little uneasy?
No, we just hadn't done it before. So anytime you haven't done anything before, you feel like you feel like you get just a little better at it, and then you can move on to the next thing.
Was that Newburyport to Provincetown?
That was Boston Harbor to Provincetown.
Boston Harbor to Provincetown.
Which should take 9 hours if you're, if you have decent wind and you don't have to tack or jibe the whole way.
Gotcha. So. All right, very good. So you I believe you introduced the song that you were going to play earlier. Are we sticking with that? Or
yeah. So this is, I'll do this song. This is a song that I don't know. Let me just make sure I'm in tune here.
We tune because we care.
This is a song that came all at once. at 4 o'clock in the morning, I woke up and, I had the technology. I turned my phone on and I started writing, and I wrote 5 stanzas without even really thinking.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say the song came to me in a dream, because it didn't, but the first couple lines did. And then it just fell out of the sky, as I said before. It just felt like, I really had nothing to do with it. And it's a really freaky feeling, because, and I feel like it's pretty good. So we'll see. You can tell me.
Charley Carrozo on Joppa Afternoon Drive. Take it away.
Used to see her in the full moon, and we rolled around like wolves. We would bite and scratch at each other's soul just to try and lose ourselves. For a moment we remember what we forgot before we were born. Running fast as we can to get away from the dawn. For some miles we kick our legs out, running through a fever dream. We would smash our teeth together and sew our hearts back at the seams. We would jump from this triple-decker porch and land softly on the lawn. Running fast as we can to get away from the dawn. As we can. Remember when we would drive over to the darker side of town, see a man that's selling paper maps and thought would lead us to the crown. We would climb up on our secret hill and switch our minds from off to on, running fast as we can, get away from the dawn. Oh, fast as we can. Oh, running fast as we can. No best laid plans. Running fast as we can, get away from the dawn. Then we joined up with the circus and we tripped on out of state. We were surfing on the waves of sound and we wiped out at Highgate. And our ears are burning, ringing when the notes, they all went wrong. Running fast as we can to get away from the dawn. Now I drive myself away from home on all these weekend nights, and I'm sober as a judge under these hollow highway lights. Still I'm trying to shake the feeling that I'll be caught before too long. Running fast as I can, get away from the dawn. Running fast as I can, get away from the dawn. Running fast as I can, get away from the dawn.
Woo, nicely done. Charley Carrozo on Joppa Afternoon Drive with a new one right there.
Yes, world debut.
I was going to say, is that a world debut?
World debut. One of the nicest things about coming in here is I've done this a few times now. It's always most fun to put. You always think the last song you wrote is your favorite song. So right now that's my favorite song. So that one was written 3 days ago.
I
so
love
there
a
you
good
go.
world debut on this show. It brings me so much joy. Very good. Sounds great, man. I love it. Right out of the stars. We had stars, night, sailing, songs out of there.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
I'm reading. I think I'm reading a lot of books, and that might be like I've been ever since I went on vacation. I'm sort of on a reading binge now, and I think that might have something to do with it. I got all these words scrambling around in my head as I'm sleeping. So that might have something to do with it.
Are you a Seinfeld fan at all?
Sure, of course.
There's that one scene. What is it? Where it's Banyan or whatever that guy's name was, and he goes, "Do you read?" I like to read Lupica. Books, Jerry, books, or books, George, books. I'm messing it up a little bit, I think, but I don't know. I always like that. But a lot of words in the head. Well, that sounds great, man. I love a good new song. You still writing a lot these days, or just kind of?
Yeah, no, I've been I've been writing a lot.
Good.
Like like we had said earlier, I wish that this phenomenon happened more where they just sort of fell out. But I write a lot of different ways. Sometimes I'll get the chords first, and I'll just sing nonsense lyrics until something comes to my head, and a phrase pops in there that I like to use, and then I'll write a whole song around that phrase. This one, the lyrics came first, and sometimes it comes easy, and sometimes it comes hard. But I've been writing a lot, and I think we talked about last time I was here. I have a writing partner, that I'm writing music and he's writing lyrics, and so we're
still together.
We're moving it. We're moving them out pretty quickly.
And way up south, you get the band back out. It's playing a lot, which is
we're playing a lot. It's one of the. This is great. I mean, it's as much as I loved playing online and everything, there's nothing like playing in front of a live audience, and between solo gigs and I have a couple duos that I play, and then the band, pretty booked up until October.
Awesome, man.
Yeah,
I'm happy for him. Happy for everybody who can get back out there and play here after
it's good.
Tough couple of years. I might have you have one in your pocket to play us out here as we say goodbye.
Sure. Well, let's do one for Taylor.
And then before you jump into that, one more thank you. It's been birthday week for Sarah Blackstone, our fabulous producer.
Yeah, it's Sarah.
So
happy
thank
birthday.
you. I hope you take it to the weekend, have fun, and do whatever. Do whatever you want to do. Happy birthday, Sarah Blackstone. Appreciate all your great work. Charley Carrozo going to bring us home. Again, it's a musical benefit for Ukraine, Saturday, April 9th at 7 p.m. Walk right up. Doors open at 6. Go get your tickets. And Liz Frame, thank you so much. She was here earlier organizing the whole thing. I know you've gotten to see her work firsthand. It's a lot of work putting this together. Liz is getting it done for a great cause. So again, Saturday, April 9th, 7 p.m., a musical benefit for Ukraine.
Thanks, Drew.
Charley Carrozo, thanks for coming in. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you.